Today I'm out in the garden to look for the perfect sugar pie pumpkin to make a pumpkin pie with. And they say that the best hiding place is in plain sight. I never quite understood what they meant by that. This spot here looks like a good hiding space. Let's go and try to find one. A bit small. Here's one. Ouch, this one's not nice. A bit green. Here's one that's almost ready. Ooh, this one's nice and ripe. Too small though. These guys are bigger. Yeah, but no, I need something better. Where could that one be? Alright, I think this will do. Hello, I'm Brian. We have here this heirloom variety of pumpkin called the sugar pie pumpkin. And this is the one that's usually used in old-fashioned pumpkin pies. And the reason is because they're a little bit sweeter than other pumpkin varieties. And I think it's sweet because all the sugars are contained in this tiny little vessel here. So for its size, it's got a lot of flavor and sweetness. And today, I'm going to enhance the flavor and sweetness by softening it in the oven. So in the oven, the temperatures will caramelize the sugars. If you're not able to put it in the oven, you can steam it as well. So when I made pumpkin pie for the first time, I steamed the pumpkin and it was just as tasty. The ingredients in this pumpkin pie are some of the core ingredients. I'm making this from scratch without any measuring, so I don't have a recipe for you. You can search for the recipes online if you like to try it yourself. It's not too hard, so I recommend doing one from scratch. You can get the pumpkin pie crust recipes all online. There's so many kinds, but today I'm just going to use butter and flour. So let's cut it up, and hopefully we have a nice fleshy pumpkin to start with, and it'll be tasty at the end, so let's do that. First, let's break off the stem. There are little tiny hairs that can irritate the skin, so be careful and make sure it doesn't dig underneath your skin. Let's break it off so it's easier to cut. Cut it in half and see. Ta-da! So we have seeds for saving and growing new pumpkins. And we'll clean this out. I'm making a rather large pie today, so I'm not entirely sure that I have enough. This one has spikes on it, so I don't want to touch that. Clean off the seeds. Let's put them in the oven, 350 for about an hour or until they're soft. With the pumpkins in the oven, it's time to start the pie crust. I have a cup and a quarter of butter. I ran out of unsalted butter, so I have Irish cream butter in here. I don't know if that's gonna make it better or not, but that's all I got. 1.5 cups of flour, and begin to mix on a slow speed. Some salt to enhance the flavor, and with the flour not clumping up, I'm adding more butter to it. I also added about a tablespoon and a half of ice water to this. Now it's all mixed up, time to get it onto saran wrap and put it in the refrigerator chill. Right now the butter is really softened and it's really hard to work with at this state. So if you press it, it goes in with ease. It's too soft. After an hour, the pumpkins are ready for to be removed from the oven. There's one pumpkin that has a really good seal, and with the temperature cooling down, it's starting to vacuum itself. So that's what it's doing. It's pretty neat. I'm gonna turn the pumpkins over to let them cool down more quickly. Once they're cooled, we can scrape the pumpkin off the skin and begin to soften it with an immersion blender. Look at all that steam. I don't see a lot of caramelization. I suppose I could have baked this a little bit longer to get to concentrate the sugar, but this is pretty good already. It's nice and soft. It's also easy to scoop out. After everything's scooped out, it's time to put the immersion blender in there to smooth the consistency up. For 2 cups of pumpkin puree, we're going to put in the following spices: a 1/4 teaspoon of cloves, 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg, 2 teaspoons of ground cinnamon, and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, some lemon zest, 1/2 cup of brown sugar, 1/3 a cup of sugar, some salt, and 3 eggs. And then later on we'll put in a can of evaporated milk. Since I have 3 cups of puree, I'm going to put in a little bit more. And you can always adjust the amounts based on your taste preference. If you like ginger like I do, I would put a little bit more ginger. This lemon is also from the garden. It's a pink lemonade lemon, and I've had the tree for I think 3 years now. Finally had a couple of lemons to use, so this is pretty neat to be able to use a lemon from the tree. 3 eggs. I crack it in a separate bowl because these are unpasteurized eggs, and I don't want a rotten one to ruin the whole batch. So I mix it separately. In goes the can of evaporated milk, and we give it a mixing. Just be really careful not to splash, and this is what it looks like. Time to then work on the pie crust. I'm making 2 pies today. I'm making a little personal size pie, and out of the fridge you can see how hard the dough is. It takes a lot of effort to push a hole in it. So this one is going to go in first, and then we will make the crust for the other one. Generally you want to start with a flattened piece of dough, so when you put it in the fridge you want to have it nice and flat to begin with, and we begin to roll it out. Putting the crust between, or the dough between 2 pieces of wax paper will make it less greasy when you handle it. If you're handling your rolling pin, you will get all of that butter, but also it makes it a little bit harder to roll out. So in rolling this crust out, I didn't put a piece of parchment paper or wax paper on top. So once you have it rolled out, you probably want to put it in the fridge to let the dough, or the crust, firm up a little bit before you try to handle it and put it on the pie plate. This is the ball of extra crust or dough that I will use for another time. Now it's time to fill it up. I wish I had a little bit more pie filling. I guess I used some of it in the other pie. This is I think an 11-inch pie pan, so it's a pretty big pie. And after about an hour at 350 degrees, we have heirloom pumpkin pies from Sugar Pie Pumpkins. Really tasty, really easy, and I hope you give it a try. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.